Shalom. This is Sincere Milk of Yahweh Sap, Lion's Den. I camp out with Lion Den Hawan Ben Yashuada in Jacksonville, Florida. But first, I would like to give a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the Akyons, and to the women and children. Ka, Halayim, La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Bahashem, Ha, Roka, Rodash, Mahama. In the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit and holy and true. Double honors to the elders of GMS. Double honors to my elder Hawan. Salutations to the Arkansas and the four corners in city and truth. And to the women and children, Shalom. Okay, this pop up in my video in my phone, and it's called World War III is here. Global collapse will pave the way for CBDC, and gold can only go up. Okay. Before I play the video, this video is called Kitco News, but they also look into a website called Kitco.com, and also you want to look into huntingforgold.com. That's for the Akyons out there that will be going through probably hard times just like I am, and there's other ways you can look into learning, right, how to get nuggets of silver and gold that you can use to buy things with. Now, some people have been telling me, hey, you think it's wise for you to announce that when Edomites also? Well, it rains for the righteous as well as for the sinners, right? So let Yahweh Bashin Yahweh Shai decide who gets a portion of what, okay? Let's play this, because World War III is around the corner, in case you didn't know it, right? Here we go.
Hello, I'm Michelle McCory, and you are watching Kitco News. World War III has already begun, and it is about to get a lot worse. The U.S. will be drawn deeper into the war in Ukraine, and geopolitical conflict will only ramp up as tensions rise in the Middle East, sending oil to well above $100 per barrel. This will all end with either a nuclear exchange or a major false flag event in 2023, which will greatly benefit safe haven assets like gold. And on the domestic front, governments will increase their grip over their citizens through central bank digital currencies or CBDCs, which can be used to crack down on political dissidents. However, the state will be unable to stop growing populist discontent over issues like war, immigration, and economic malaise, giving rise to new political movements. And this will all happen against a backdrop of growing artificial intelligence and automation, which could leave millions of blue and white-collar professionals out of a job. Well, all of these dark and very dire predictions for 2023 are from my next guest, Gerald Celente, the publisher of the Trends Journal and the founder and director of the Trends Research Institute. And Gerald has a 40-year track record of forecasting and identifying trends. His many accurate forecasts include the 1987 stock market crash, the dot-com bust, the gold bull run, the rise of organic foods, and even the popularity of gourmet coffee long before Starbucks was a household name. Gerald, welcome back to Kitco.
Thank you so much for having me, Michelle.
Gerald, I'm going to need a very strong cup of coffee to get through this very, very sobering interview. We're going to break down the trends that you're forecasting for 2023 and also, of course, discuss what this means for investors. And look, this is a very, very grim forecast that you have. Your number 2 trend for 2023 is market meltdown and economic calamity, which you did in fact caution us when you were on the show last would begin in 2022 and escalate into 2023. And as dire as that is, we have to first focus on your even more distressing forecast. And your top trend for 2023 is World War III. You're saying we're going from COVID war to Ukraine war to World War. Explain that.
Yeah, well, the COVID war changed life. The damage that it's done to billions of people around the planet is incalculable. The businesses that have gone out of business, the lives and livelihoods have been destroyed, and a whole different culture. Wearing masks now is part of the Western way, particularly the American way. And the Ukraine war just keeps ramping it up as governments continue to take more and more control and dictate to the people. I mean, here we are in the United States. By the way, I had so you know where I'm coming from. I had a peace rally back in February, of July of 2023.
2022.
2022, excuse me. And I had Judge Andrew Napolitano, Scott Ritter, Gary Null, Phil Giraldi, top former CIA guy that goes into George W. Bush's office. This is a fact. Shows them the data. There are no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And you know what George Bush told Phil Giraldi, the top CIA guy? Get out of the office. And Phil Giraldi quit. So when I talk about these issues and these trends, I'm using information and data that's factual and to see where we're going. So now let's go back to the demise of America's 20-year war in Afghanistan, where Biden pulls out the troops and it's a terrible, terrible scene, and the public is really disgusted with it. Then all of a sudden, the Ukraine war, everybody forgot about that. Now we're going to help fight the Ukraine and to defeat the Russians. This is not a proxy war. America is at war with Russia. They're sending in Ukrainian troops to give them the skills to use the weapons that we're giving them. By the way, since February 24th, 2022, America has sent over $1 billion to Ukraine in weapons and quote aid. So now we're bringing troops over here to America to train them on how to use these weapons. Number two, the Defense Secretary of the United States, Lloyd Austin, former general, now a Defense Secretary. Oh, no, I forgot. His job before that was sitting on the board of directors of Raytheon, the second largest defense contractor in America. He announced that we are sending, quote, advisors into Ukraine to show them how to use the weapons that America is sending them there. So it's called mission creep, and that's what they're doing. So America is at war, and NATO is at war with Russia. They are already pumping this thing that if a nuclear bomb goes off, here's 3 steps to take. They're running ads in New York City. When I was a kid, I just turned 76. They used to have us hiding under desks, scared out of our lives that if the Russians are going to drop an atom bomb. Oh, that's going to really save your life. You're under a desk and an atom bomb goes off, just like the 3 steps they're taking you. Go into your house, stand in the middle of the room, and take a shower. What are you kidding? You're dust. This is the stupidity, but here's what the Americans know. Hey, did you hear about that football player that got a heart attack? Oh, my God. This only went on for what, a week and a half? Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, I hope they're back. This is the stupidity. Oh, and the breaking news that Jill Biden has to get some surgery over her eye. Top Yahoo News story. So what I'm saying is that people don't have a clue of what's going on, the dangers behind it, and the implications.
I hear that, and this is why we have you to help them get a clue. And I hear you on this being perhaps a proxy war between the U.S. and Russia. The Biden administration just last year gave nearly $50 billion in assistance to Ukraine, including humanitarian, financial, and of course military support. And as you just highlighted, President Biden said there would be no U.S. boots on the ground in Ukraine, but the Pentagon has in fact confirmed the deployment of active duty military personnel in Ukraine. They're claiming that no U.S. forces are conducting combat operations in Ukraine, but you have personnel there that are assigned to conduct security cooperation and assistance as part of the Defense Attaché Office. So you have U.S. personnel resuming on-site inspections to assess the weapon stock in Ukraine. I hear you on this being a proxy in many ways. I hear you on this being an escalation. But let's get to how you see this really becoming nuclear Armageddon. By the way, you're quite right. In New York, we have been seeing public service announcements of what to do in the event of a nuclear war, which of course is pretty distressing. Not nearly as distressing, though, as what you write in your journal. And in the 2023 Trends Journal, you write, World War III will be the US, NATO, and its allies versus China, Russia, and its allies. And the winner will be climate change. The climate will change into the 2,000-year new ice age when a nuclear war destroys life on this planet. This sounds apocalyptic. That is the only word for it, apocalyptic. Gerald, do you really think we're going to get a nuclear war in 2023?
Let's look at the imbeciles and morons running the show. I just told you I turned 76 years old. The year before I was born, it was the end of World War II, not ancient history. Maniacs destroyed Europe. Crazy people. Oh, and before that one, World War I. I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy, Yankee Doodle Do or Die. Let's go throughout history. What's your favorite war? I like the 100-Year War. No, the War of Roses was so beautiful. You got crazy people in charge. Look at the clown show. How could anybody with a brain bigger than a pea look up to a Mitch McConnell, a little Chucky Schumer, Lindsey Graham, all these tough guys that couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag that love war? They're mentally deranged. Hey, what's your favorite war? I told you about the Iraq War, how little Georgie Bush, a daddy's boy born on third base and thought he had a home run, lied us into the war. The facts were there. Never any weapons of mass destruction. Oh, and we're going to get that guy, Osama bin Laden, dead or alive up there in Afghanistan. That's a quote. And 88% of the American people swallowed it.
Okay, that was then. Some very colorful comments that you've made about past and current leaders. And again, the competency of the current administration does, many would say, leave much to be desired. But what do you think will actually trigger this nuclear exchange? Who would shoot the first round? What would be attacked? Do you have more of a synopsis of how this actually happens?
No, you don't. You can't. You know, here's this guy, Sean Penn, just came out with this thing that Ukraine is winning the war. What am I, 6 years old? Russia took over 20% of the country. Depending on the reports you're reading, 70% of Ukraine's power and water infrastructure have been destroyed. So now Ukraine is going down. They're going to do anything they can to get more support. So they may attack one of the nuclear plants. You don't know. And again, a false flag event. Again, my age when I'm growing up, those dirty Vietnamese, they attacked an American ship in the Gulf of Tonkin. Total lie by another guy, may rotten hell, Robert McNamara, that started the Vietnam War. Never happened. Oh, and by the way, what's the United States doing in the Gulf of Tonkin? How about if the Vietnamese were in the Gulf of Mexico? Would you like that? So what I'm saying to you, it's war after war is lies after lies. You got maniacs in charge.
So you think that it's actually going to be Ukraine that escalates it? The concern has been, and again, based off what we're hearing via the mainstream media, but the concern has been that the war has not been going as President Putin would like it to go, and that he is going to be backed into a corner and into a move of desperation. But from what I'm hearing, you're thinking that Ukraine is going to up the ante.
Absolutely, and the United States. And again, you're not going to... Again, I'm totally opposed to war. I want to make this 100% clear.
That is very clear. That is very clear.
I launched the Occupy Peace movement back in 2014. So I'm totally opposed to war. But I totally understand why it happened. This is your Trends Journal from spring, when it used to be a quarterly, now it's a weekly. 2014, the United States coup of the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych, written by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, former Assistant Treasury Secretary under Ronald Reagan. Washington is driving the world to the final war. It's all about the United States coup of Ukraine government. This has been going on forever. Hey, once upon a time, there was a guy by the name of Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5-star general, Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces, 2-term president. Farewell address, January 17th, 1961. The military-industrial complex is robbing the nation of the genius of the scientists, the sweat of the laborers, and the future of the children. He goes on to say that after every war before, there was no military-industrial complex. Those who were making plows started making armaments for the military, and then it went back to making plows. It's a total takeover, and all you have to do again is look at who the guy that's playing our Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, formerly sitting on the board of directors of Raytheon, the second largest defense contractor in the United States.
And Raytheon shares have done very well lately, but I still find it hard to imagine that that would be an agenda to cause a nuclear war. Gerald, go on.
Things get out of control. And by the way, this is very important. We're talking about one of our other trends. We're talking about market meltdown.
Yeah.
The only thing that's keeping the markets up are interest rates. They go higher, market goes down. When all else fails, they take you to war.
There we go. Let's stop there. So as you can see, that people are becoming concerned with World War III. But we Hebrew Israelites, okay, so-called Negros Latinos, Americans, and speckled birds, we are waiting first when they mandate the MOTB, the CHIP, okay? Then that happens, lo and behold, all hell's gonna break loose. So now they'll be talking about peace and safety, which is the title of my lesson, okay? I want to go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Yeah, because all of a sudden, when Yahweh turns loose Yahweh Shai, he's going to come with a mighty shout, right? And those so-called UFOs, when they're chariots, and with a host of angels, right? To bring destruction to this wicked kingdom. Who you think is controlling these sonic weapons of mass destruction? Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. He's the one who's going to turn it loose to America, right? He's going to destroy America, so the whole world can see the power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. I want to go to verse 4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, sis, that they should overtake you as a thief. Okay, so while 2/3 of our people, so-called Negros Latinos, Native Americans, and speckled birds are freaking out and quoting on that Jesus, right? We're going to be rejoicing and quoting in the name of Yahweh Shai, because we know that then this wicked kingdom is at its end. Verse 5. Ye are all children of light, and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. That's right. The Edomites are. And 2/3 of our people want to be with the Edomites in that mentality. Okay? Verse 6. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. That's what we're doing, day and night, watching, right? And doing the work of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Verse 7. For they that sleep in the night, Slakia. And they that be drunken are drunken in the night. Verse 9. For Yahweh has not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Yahweh Shai. Okay? Edomites do not get salvation, they don't get forgiveness, they don't get mercy. What they do get is slavery for 1,000 years. Okay? Then we go to Proverbs. Chapter 6, verse 15. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. Yeah, there's no remedy for the Edomites. Okay? For what they have done in the past, what they're doing in the present, and what they're about to do. Right? With that mandate, the MOTV. You know, first they're going to bring in the digital currency, the invisible money. Right? To distract everyone. And then after that, that's when they're going to mandate, okay, the MOTV. We're going to go to Proverbs chapter 24. Give me a minute. Excuse me. Chapter 24, verse 21. My son, fear thou Yahweh and the king, right? Yahweh Shai. And meddle not with them that are given to change. Yeah, why are you going to want to be around believing what the Edomites are saying when they're always changing their story? Right? Because they can't keep up with all their lies. But 2/3 of our people, so-called Negros Latinos, Native Americans and speckled birds, love them. Want to protect them and want to even die for them. All right. Go for it. Verse 22. For their calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knows the ruin of them both. Right? Yahweh Shai knows. Genesis chapter 7. Verse 11. In the 600 years of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were open. Right? When he was going out there in the highways and byways and telling the people, hey, wake up, repent, right? A big flood, right, is coming down, it's going to rain. Everybody was mocking and laughing at him. Just like they do with us in the highways and byways, right? I was at camp out tonight with the Akim, and people just passing by like tourists, our people, okay? There was only one Edomite that stopped and said, listen, I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds good. Then walked away. Right? That's crazy. Verse 12. And the rain was upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. Right? Well, it's going to get real ugly. It's going to get crazy when that second shutdown comes. Proverbs chapter 1. Verse 27. When your fear comes as desolation and your destruction comes as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish comes upon you. Yeah, the whole world's gonna freak out when they see these whirlwinds going on, because it will be those what? Those so-called UFOs. When they're really chariots. Yahweh Shai and a host of angels. All over the world. Then they're gonna know it's not a joke. It's not a myth. It's not a conspiracy. It's factual. Right? 'Cause we go by scripture. In the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. I want to go to, give me a minute, see where I'm at here. 28. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Yeah. Now all of a sudden you're going to run out looking for the camps, right? And the highways and byways. You're not going to see none. Okay? We're all gone. That's it. The window of grace is closed. Want to go to Proverbs chapter 29, verse 1. He that begins often approves, harden his neck, shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. Yeah, you want to follow the Edomites? You want to keep practicing the pagan holidays? You want to keep going to these 501c3 incorporated churches, right? Some of you who are going to this IUIC, right? Listening to Nathan, right? Who telling his people that it's okay to take the hit, right? Now he's changing his story a little bit, okay? But that's only to deceive his flock. Verse 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bears rule, the people moan. Yeah. And the whole world right now is not happy with the Edomites at all. They're fed up. Right? Ecclesiastic chapter 9. Give me a minute. Verse 12. For men also know not his time, as the fish that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in a snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falls suddenly upon them. Yeah. When these Edomites get desperate and they see that these so-called UFOs are getting closer, and that they don't have enough time to get everyone with that hit, with that C hit, they're going to get desperate. And desperate people do desperate things. Want to go to Isaiah chapter 30. Verse 13. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a branch, as a reach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking comes suddenly at an instant. You ain't gonna see it coming, man. You know, the Edomites, they are so cocky and confident with the technology that Yahweh Shah has given them, that they believe that not only they can conquer the whole world, right? But it can also destroy Yahweh Shin Yahushai and the host of angels. Okay? I mean, the Technai was given to them by Yahweh Shin Yahushai. So how are you going to destroy someone that gave you the technology? That's how dumb they are. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 12. And they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste place. Thou shalt rise up the foundations of many generations, and thou shalt be core. The repair of the breach, the restorers of path to dwell in. Yeah. It's not going to be yours who's going to build all that they have destroyed. No. They're going to be the ones doing that for us. Let me take it to Isaiah. I'm going to leave it at Isaiah 61. Let me do that. Give me a minute. Looking for the page. Verse 4. And they shall build an old waste, they shall rise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations. Verse 5. And the stranger shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the aliens shall be your plowmen and your bin dressers. Yeah, our slaves. Okay? When we go back to our true land of Israel and they be removed, those that are saying that are Jews and are not, okay? We're gonna grab the Edomites and we're gonna put them into slavery, right? With Yahweh Shai and the host of angels. And they're gonna build a new kingdom over there, right? And then after the 1,000 years of slavery, they're going to be exterminated, as they should be. I hope that this was edifying, and with that I'll say Shalom.